Christ is risen. Christos anesti. Christos voskrese. El Mesíchcom. Ha Mashiachcom. Christus resurrexit. Cristo ha resucitado. Christos anviat. Christi uniao. Aristotosu fukatsu. Hidu fuhola. Christo buahashane. 2 Kings, 2 Samuel in Hebrew, chapter 22 through chapter 23, verse 7. And David spoke to the Lord to this song, in the day in which the Lord rescued him out of the hand of all his enemies, and out of the hand of Saul. And the song was thus: O Lord, my rock and my fortress, and my deliverer, my God, he shall be to me my guard. I will trust in him. He is my protector, and the horn of my salvation, my helper, and my sure refuge. Thou shalt save me from the unjust man. I will call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised, and I shall be saved from my enemies. For the troubles of death compassed me, the floods of iniquity amazed me. The pangs of death surrounded me, the agonies of death prevented me. When I am afflicted, I will call upon the Lord, and I will cry to my God, and he shall hear my voice out of his temple, and my cry shall come into his ears. And the earth was troubled and quaked, and the foundations of heaven were confounded and torn asunder, because the Lord was wroth with them. There went up a smoke in his wrath, and fire out of his mouth devours. Coals were kindled at it, and he bowed the heavens, and came down, and there was darkness under his feet. And he rode upon the cherubs, and did fly, and was seen upon the wings of the wind. And he made darkness his hiding place. His tabernacle round about him was the darkness of waters. He condensed it with the clouds of the air. At the brightness before him coals of fire were kindled. The Lord thundered out of heaven, and the Most High uttered his voice. And he sent forth arrows, and scattered them, and he flashed lightning, and dismayed them. And the channels of the sea were seen, and the foundations of the world were discovered, at the rebuke of the Lord, at the blast of the breath of his anger. He sent from above and took me. He drew me out of many waters. He delivered me from my strong enemies, and from them that hated me, for they were stronger than I. The days of my affliction prevented me, but the Lord was my stay. And he brought me into a wide place, and rescued me, because he delighted in me. And the Lord recompensed me according to my righteousness, even according to the purity of my hands did he recompense me. Because I kept the ways of the Lord, and did not wickedly depart from my God. For all his judgments and his ordinances were before me. I departed not from them. And I shall be blameless before him, and will keep myself from my iniquity. And the Lord will recompense me according to my righteousness, and according to the purity of my hands in his eyesight. With the holy thou wilt be holy, and with the perfect man thou wilt be perfect, and with the excellent thou wilt be excellent, and with the froward thou wilt be froward. And thou wilt save the poor people, and wilt bring down the eyes of the haughty. For thou, O Lord, art my lamp, and the Lord shall shine forth to me in my darkness. For by thee shall I run as a girded man, and by my God shall I leap over a wall. As for the mighty one, his way is blameless. The word of the Lord is strong, and tried in the fire. He is a protector to all that put their trust in him. Who is strong but the Lord, and who will be a creator except our God? It is the mighty one who strengthens me with might, and has prepared my way without fault. He makes my feet like harts' feet. He sets me upon the high places. He teaches my hands to war, and has broken a brazen bow by my arm. And thou hast given me the shield of my salvation, and thy propitious dealing has increased me, so as to make room under me for my going, and my legs did not totter. I'll pursue my enemies, and will utterly destroy them. And I will not turn again till I have consumed them. And I will crush them, and they shall not rise, and they shall fall under my feet. And thou shalt strengthen me with power for the war. Thou shalt cause them that rise up against me to bow down under me. And thou hast caused mine enemies to flee before me, even them that hated me, and thou hast slain them. They shall cry, and there shall be no helper to the Lord, but he hearkens not to them. And I ground them as the dust of the earth. I beat them small as the mire of the streets. And thou shalt deliver me from the striving of the peoples. Thou shalt keep me to be the head of the Gentiles, a people which I knew not serve me. The strange children feigned obedience to me. They hearkened to me as soon as they heard. The strange children shall be cast away, and shall be overthrown at their hiding places. The Lord lives, and blessed be my guardian, and my God, my strong keeper, shall be exalted. The Lord who avenges me is strong, chastening the nations under me, and bring me out from my enemies. And thou shalt set me on high from among those that rise up against me. Thou shalt deliver me from the violent man. Therefore will I confess to thee, O Lord, among the Gentiles, and sing to thy name. He magnifies the salvation of his king, and works mercy for his anointed, even for David, and for his seed forever. And these are the last words of David. Faithful is David the son of Jesse, and faithful the man whom the Lord raised up to be the anointed of the God of Jacob, and beautiful are the psalms of Israel. The Spirit of the Lord spoke by me, and his word was upon my tongue. The God of Israel says, A watchman out of Israel spoke to me a parable. I said among men, How will ye strengthen the fear of the anointed? And in the morning light of God, let the sun arise in the morning, from the light of which the Lord passed on, and as it were from the rain of the tender grass upon the earth. For my house is not so with the mighty one, for he has made an everlasting covenant with me, ready, guarded at every time, for all my salvation and all my desire is that the wicked should not flourish. All these are as a thorn thrust forth, for they shall not be taken with the hand, and the man shall not labor among them. And one shall have that which is fully armed with iron, and the staff of a spear, and he shall burn them with fire, and they shall be burnt in their shame. Psalm 95, 96 in Hebrew. When the house was built after the captivity, a song by David. Sing to the Lord a new song. Sing to the Lord all the earth. Sing to the Lord. Bless his name. Proclaim his salvation from day to day. Publish his glory among the Gentiles, his wonderful works among all people. For the Lord is great, and greatly to be praised. He is terrible above all gods. For all the gods of the heathen are devils, but the Lord made the heavens. Thanksgiving and beauty are before him. Holiness and majesty are in his sanctuary. Bring to the Lord, ye families of the Gentiles. Bring to the Lord glory and honor. Bring to the Lord the glory becoming his name. Take offerings, and go into his courts. Worship the Lord in his holy court. Let all the earth tremble before him. Say among the heathen, the Lord reigns. For he has established the world so that it shall not be moved. He shall judge the people in righteousness. Let the heavens rejoice, and let the earth exult. Let the sea be moved, and the fullness of it. The plain shall rejoice, and all things in them. Then shall all the trees of the wood exult before the presence of the Lord. For he comes to judge the earth. He shall judge the world in righteousness, and the people with his truth. Proverbs chapter 20, verses 26 through 30. A wise king utterly crushes the ungodly, and will bring a weal upon them. The spirit of man is the light of the Lord, who searches the inmost parts of the belly. Mercy and truth are a guard to a king, and will surround his throne with righteousness. Wisdom is an ornament to young men, and gray hairs are the glory of old men. Bruises and contusions befall bad men, and plagues shall come into the inward parts of their belly. The Holy Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter 18, verses 1 through 17. And he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray, and not to faint, saying, There was in a city a judge, which feared not God, neither regarded men. And there was a widow in that city, and she came unto him, saying, Avenge me of mine adversary. And he would not for a while. But afterward he said within himself, Though I fear not God, nor regard man, yet because this widow troubleth me, I will avenge her, lest by her continual coming she weary me. And the Lord said, Hear what the unjust judge saith. And shall not God avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them? I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? And he spake this parable unto certain which trusted in themselves that they were righteous, and despised others. 2 men went up into the temple to pray, the one a Pharisee, and the other a publican. The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself, God, I thank thee that I am not as other men are, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this publican. I fast twice in the week. I give tithes of all that I possess. And the publican, standing afar off, would not lift up so much as his eyes unto heaven, but smote upon his breast, saying, God be merciful to me, a sinner. I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone that exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. And they brought unto him also infants, that he would touch them. But when his disciples saw it, they rebuked them. But Jesus called them unto him, and said, Suffer little children to come unto me, and forbid them not, for of such is the kingdom of God. Verily, I say unto you, whosoever shall not receive the kingdom of God as a little child shall in no wise enter therein.